And here we go.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Mike from the Super Wheeler Bros, and welcome back for another review on Season 7 of The Walking Dead. This time we're taking a look at Episode 10, New Best Friends. So let's get into it. This week on The Walking Dead, we had a really solid episode. We had some great story progression. We had a very good finale, and we got a little bit of a slower paced episode. We got some great action in there. I'll definitely talk about that. But we definitely got more character. Of a little bit more of a talky episode. But it still worked because there are great character moments sprinkled in there that really make this episode work. Wasn't a supersized episode this week, so we finally got ourselves back to a normal runtime. What ended up really working this week was the group, again, working together. I really enjoyed everything to do with our new group that we found. They're officially called the Scavengers. I know on the internet that people have been calling them the Garbage Pail Kids, but they're officially labeled the Scavengers or the Heapers. The main leader, her name was Jadis, and she is played by Pollyanna McIntosh. And I loved their look. I loved the way that they moved. I enjoyed their way that they spoke to each other. They had their own little language. They were just really an interesting group. Much more interesting than Oceanside. So, it looks like there hasn't been a one-off of these new scavengers. And they're really interesting. They don't want to do anything for themselves, but they want to take it after you've done it. Like the boat. When Rick asks why they waited for the boat, they just said, they do not bother. We just take. That's very interesting. Now, I will say this. They strike a bargain with them to make our group feel a little bit more secure about taking on the Saviors. Their deal is if they get the Scavengers' guns, our group, get the Scavengers' guns, and lots of them, then they will help them try to take out the Saviors, so that they don't have to rely on the Kingdom for assistance. Since Ezekiel seems to be reluctant and Morgan still doesn't get it. Still. So, my problem with them is I don't trust them. Matter of fact, I'm going to make a bold prediction right now that they are going to betray our group. They are going to double-cross our group and end up helping the Saviors. And the Kingdom is going to come to Alexandria and the Hilltops rescue. I really believe that that's the way it's going to go down by the finale of the season. Man, I just don't trust them. I don't. I loved, again, their look. I loved the way that everything was presented with them in the episode. They're very interesting. And the little garbage pit that they throw Rick into with that badass spiked walker, that Mad Max looking walker. Oh man, that was an awesome scene. I thought it was really cool that Rick and the group worked together. They immediately worked together, especially Michonne jumping in there, trying to help Rick, assisting him with what to do. It was a really, really cool scene. And I didn't like the CGI right away when he put his hand onto the spike, which was clearly planted there. You could really see it. But in the end, what a great makeup effect. That was so awesome. Rick coming out of it and laughing and smiling. I love that. That was great. Andy Lincoln has been awesome ever since we have gotten him back out of the doldrums. I really enjoyed that interaction. Not much to complain about when it comes with that, and I'm glad that my prediction of Father Gabriel not being a deserter did come true, although he was definitely Rick's hype man and he almost got him killed. So I don't think he would have hyped him up so much if he'd have thought he was going to get thrown into a garbage pit with a Mad Max walker. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Father Gabriel has definitely turned a corner and has become a really good, solid addition to the group and an interesting character. I love his arc. I love characters who, like Daryl and like Father Gabriel, like Rick, who go through changes like normal people would. Like, your mentality doesn't stay the same all the time based on your experiences. And I love that. That's great stuff. That's great stuff. The best part of the episode is definitely Daryl. Daryl is kind of at the forefront this episode. I really, really enjoyed Norman Reedus' performance this week. I thought he did an awesome job. I thought that we finally got Daryl able to do something of consequence, and it made me happy to see him back, because it's been a while since Daryl has done anything of consequence. And thinking more clearly, I know, and I know the ladies love Daryl, and I'm pretty sure that all the ladies wish that, you know, somebody would speak about them the way that Daryl speaks about Carol, because Richard took him out and was going to lead the Saviors into an ambush and hopefully leave enough breadcrumbs back to a weapons cache that he had that would also lead them back to a woman. And that woman ended up being Carol, and when Daryl found that out, whooped that boy's ass. Took Richard out to the shed and beat him down. No, I mean, Richard is stupid. He is a stupid character. His ideals are right, but he has no chill whatsoever. He is so dumb. Obviously, with the Saviors, you can't go at them blunt force trauma. You have to be more subtle and plan your attacks, because we've seen over the course of the show, over the last season, that it's not gonna work. They've beaten them at every turn because they just have the numbers, and a lot more numbers than they realize. So they have to be a little more subtle, and Richard just doesn't get it. Now, there's two more guys that seem to just not get it. Ezekiel, who is awesome, by the way. So far, Gary Payton has done an awesome job with Ezekiel, but he's letting Morgan influence him quite a bit, and they're both pacifists, and they're both going to have to realize that at some point, they're going to have to do something, or the Saviors are going to come after them too. There's no way around it. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I also have to give kudos to Cooper Andrews, who plays Jerry. Dude, that guy is just hilarious. I love the chemistry between Jerry and King Ezekiel. They are hilarious together. I don't know. It's those little characters who make things better in The Walking Dead, and with such a heavy show, it's awesome to have characters like that allow you to laugh, especially at some of the absurdity of the proceedings that are in the show, because not everything is realistic and, you know, practical. A lot of it is a little bit ridiculous, and I'm glad that you get to laugh and you don't have to take everything so seriously with characters like Jerry. The highlight of the episode for me is definitely, besides the Walker Pit with Rick, Daryl and Carol and their reunion. Talk about the feels, ladies and gents. That definitely gives it to you. They are awesome. Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride are awesome. And it really saddens me how little Melissa McBride has been in this season, because she is their most underrated player on the field. She is their low-key MVP. She really is. Lenny James, Melissa McBride, Norman Reedus. Those three give so much life to the show and so much character and so much depth, and they've been really sparsely used throughout the season. And it's a little bit disappointing, and that is kind of a big reason why this has been an okay season and not a great season. You know, we have definitely recovered from the doldrums of early in the season, but nothing is spectacular yet. And we had a couple of spectacular episodes right before the break, and we've had a couple of really solid episodes out of the gate, but nothing spectacular. But I will say this. The end of that episode, the last 15 minutes, with Carol and Daryl, were so good, and they tug at your heartstrings so much, it's easy to forgive certain missteps and certain stupid things that are happening. Like Rosita. Oh my god, I'm sick of her. She's another person that does not get it. Again, somebody who has no chill. We got Rosita and Richard. Pfft, just feed them to the Saviors, man. Rosita's getting on my damn nerves. I understand she's pissed, but you would have thought that as somebody who has a military background, she would be a little bit more of a tactician, and she's really not, and it's starting to get my nerves a lot. But sorry, I digress. Back to Daryl and Carol. What a great reunion. Their hug was great. Their interaction was great. I loved that they were able to laugh a little bit, and that when Carol was getting emotional, you could just tell how much that Daryl cares for her. And he couldn't tell her what happened to Glenn. He couldn't tell her what happened to Abraham. He couldn't tell her what happened to Denise. Couldn't tell her what happened to any of them. It just couldn't tell him that Eugene's gone. Couldn't tell him that he was captured. Couldn't tell Carol at all. Any of it. Because he just cares so much, and he knew that maybe they just needed to have a normal night, a normal reunion. That he couldn't put that weight on her because she would be right back into it, and she's trying to find herself, because that part where she admits that she would have nothing left if she was fighting them is really powerful, because she cares so much about those people and she would do anything for them, and she had to leave because it was killing her. I mean, she had that list of all the people she had taken out, and it was pretty big, and it was just weighing her down. And I loved that scene. I loved the weight of it. Their departure was also really touching and really understated, and it was just awesome. It was perfect. It was perfect. And I loved Morgan and Daryl at the end of the episode when he's sitting there messing with Shiva. That was really cool. Daryl's an animal, so he can tame the animal. Really good with Shiva, so that was really cool. And I liked their interaction, and I liked that Daryl calls Morgan out on his BS, and he's able to do it in a way that Rick isn't. Rick knows Morgan really well. Daryl doesn't know Morgan very well, but they were able to find a connection with how they care about people. And again, great episode. At the end, Daryl is off to the hilltop so that he can get ready for this battle, so we'll see how all that plays out. Looks like next week we're going to get a self-contained episode in the Sanctuary. Not gonna lie to you, I don't like that. I've been saying all season long that I don't like the isolated storytelling. I don't like it at all. There's so many nuggets that were interesting that were dropped this week, like maybe perhaps Tara telling our group about the ocean side and where to find all these guns. Even though she promised not to say anything, that might be something that happens, but looks like we're gonna have to wait a while to find out. I hate that. I hate it so much. I thought maybe they would have learned their lesson. These last few episodes have been great. Getting back with our group and having all these stories woven in and out. It makes sense. It's good storytelling when you visit all the different places. It makes for better pace. You're not just trudging along. Here's hoping I'm wrong. I'm not gonna be. But here's hoping that it's still a compelling episode. We will see. New Best Friends is gonna get a very solid 9 out of 10. Great drama, great characters, fun scenes, fun action, awesome new group, really good episode. Not great, not a perfect 10, but a really good episode. And I even think after talking about it, I hyped myself up another one because I was going to give it an 8, and I ended up giving it a 9. Goes to show you, sometimes when you think back, things can be even better than you remember them. Tell us what you thought of this episode of Walking Dead in the comments below. Did you like it as much as I did? If you enjoyed this review, definitely give us a like. Really helps us out. And if you are enjoying our content, our reviews, and all of the other videos we are producing, definitely hit that subscribe button. We are bringing more to you in the future. My name is Mike from the Super Wheeler Bros, and as always, my friends, have yourselves a super week.